Hey golf people, every year I make the daunting trek from Tampa to Orlando, about an hour's drive, to check out the PGA Show and their demo day where I can test out all the new releases from all the major manufacturers. Well, almost. I'll get into that in just a second. Now, 2023 is going to be a packed year. Drivers, irons, wedges, all coming out. And we have some brands refreshing their lines who haven't released clubs in many years. I primarily focused on drivers at the PGA Show this year, but I did check out a few irons, which I'll talk about in this video as well. But the drivers I tried the new Cobra aerojet, the regular model, as well as the max version. I tried the Titleist TSR 2 and 3. I had a look at the new Mizuno 230 line, which is the STZ and the STX. I also looked at one I know a lot of you are interested in the ZX5 and ZX7 from Srixon. And lastly, I took a look at the latest Yonex drivers that have come out, and specifically the E-Zone GT model. I gotta say, guys, there were tons of surprises in what I tested. Now, you probably are thinking to yourself, he didn't test some of the major brands. Yes, that's correct. A few notable clubs that I was not able to test at the show this year, but I will be testing on the channel, include the TaylorMade Stealth 2. TaylorMade just did not come to the show this year. They really haven't been there in the last 4 or 5 years. I also, unfortunately, wasn't able to test out the Callaway Paradigm. That's one I was super excited for. I play the Rogue driver, and unfortunately, Callaway was invite only, and yours truly didn't get an invite, apparently. And lastly, I didn't get a chance to check out the Ping G430 driver, which I was really pumped for. Unfortunately, the line was super long, and my time ran out before I was able to try those out. All those drivers, though, will be tested on this channel. We'll be breaking them down for you. As you know, I like to take drivers out on course anyways, and so we will be doing that throughout February and March. We'll be looking at all of these drivers. Go ahead and hit subscribe now so you get to see those reviews first. However, I'm going to break down what I saw and what I did get to test. I took about 150 swings with my Bushnell Launch Pro there by my side to look at all the data, and I've got some good initial feedback to offer you here. Let's get right into it. All right, let's start out here with the Yonex E-Zone GT. This is the driver that I probably thought had the poorest results for me. Now, I will say it's a very interesting looking driver, and down at address, it's super futuristic looking. I like the big, wide footprint of this thing, and it looks cool. The other thing I really like about the Yonex brand is it is fully integrated. They actually make their own shafts as well. And I tried a number of shafts. And all in all, this driver, while I think it will be a good one for many folks out there and probably very forgiving for me in terms of numbers, it just lagged a little bit behind these others that I saw. So getting into the next driver on our list here, the Cobra aerojet. Now, I have been a huge Cobra fanboy here the last couple of years. In fact, I released this video right here if you want to check it out on why I think Cobra is the most innovative brand in golf right now. I really like the aerojet. I'm looking forward to taking that one out on course for sure. The numbers were very good. In fact, it's hard to separate my top 4 picks here from the PGA Show in terms of numbers because they're really similar, and it's really hard to even rank these, but I've got to rank them somehow. So my best drive here carried 231 yards. Spin was good. All the numbers looked really good. Interestingly enough, I tried both the aerojet Max as well as the regular aerojet, and I found the Max actually seemed to perform a little better for me. I got a little higher trajectory. Just a great all-around club. I can't wait to take that one out on course. Coming in third place for me, and a big surprise in fact, was Srixon. So I tried both the ZX7 and the ZX5. The 7 probably aimed more at your lower handicaps, where the ZX5 is aimed more for the masses, mere mortals like us, mid-handicappers and higher handicappers out there. And I found this to be a really forgiving driver. In fact, I hit one awful mishit really low on the face, and it still got up in the air really well. Super shocked at how much I liked the Srixon. Again, it's hard out there in the elements with crowds of people and different balls at each vendor and all sorts of different things. It's hard for me to separate my top 3, and Srixon could, in fact, be the #1 driver, the ZX5, but we will wait to find out and see that one out on course. But I gotta say, in my preliminary tests here, boy, oh boy, I liked it. Number 2 is going to be the driver that I've picked as the best driver of the year the last 2 years in a row, and that's the ST series from Mizuno. But this year, something interesting occurred. I tried both the STX as well as the STZ. The difference really being how they have the weight distributed on these two clubs. The STZ is generally the one I've picked in years past. However, this year the STX seems to be the more balanced club. It's not as draw biased as it seems it was in years prior. And so I actually loved the trajectory I was getting out of the X model, even better than the Z model. Both drivers super forgiving. And again, I think they're going to be huge contenders this year for driver of the year. Lastly, I want to talk about the new Titleist drivers. I haven't been able to do an official review of these just because Titleist doesn't send me their clubs at this moment in time. However, I have been able to test the TSR series in the PGA Tour Superstore, as well as I got again a chance to really test them out at the PGA Show this year. And the TSR 3 is, for me, leader of the pack in what I saw yesterday. I hit a couple of 238 carries with that driver, so distance-wise, incredible. The feel is incredible, probably the best of the bunch in terms of feel when the ball strikes the club face. The sound, also a nice, pleasant thud to it, and the looks down at address, just clean and pure. But it all comes down to performance, and this driver performed, for me, the best in terms of great consistent spin numbers, as well as a fantastic trajectory, and best distance I saw all day. So if I'm gonna rank these, Titleist right now, the TSR is going to be number one. And I will also say that this new hazardous counterbalanced shaft is a winner. And if you have not had a chance to try that shaft out, I highly, highly recommend you do during your fitting. Give that one a shot because it is something special. I think I'm getting 3 to 4 extra yards with that shaft. So that's it for the drivers, guys, but I did take a look at some irons that I was really excited about. First off, Mizuno's new release of the JPX 923 forged model. The JPX 923 Hot Metal Pro, as you know, is my favorite current game improvement style iron out there on the market. I was really curious to see how I would like the forged. Like I said before in this video, the conditions often are not the greatest out at demo day. I didn't even have a chance to warm up. I will say I enjoyed the forged. I don't think it would be the right club for me. I just don't think I'm going to get the distance out of it, but I'm sure Mizuno will be kind enough to send me those clubs to test out on this channel, and I will give you a real update and a real review on those irons. But right now, JPX 923 Hot Metal Pro is where I'd be leaning in the JPX line. The other irons I was pumped to try out were the Srixon ZX5 and ZX7. Both of those irons, shockingly good. I'm really excited, especially about the ZX5 for us mere mortals. I think that's going to be a winner. Wade also swung some irons that day, and in particular noted how much he enjoyed the ZX5 as well. The forged feel of that club is mwah! It's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to getting those clubs out on course. I'm really excited for those irons. The ZX7s, great irons as well. I just wasn't getting as much distance out of those guys, and still same great Srixon feel there, but ZX5 definitely the ones that I would be focused in on after trying both of them out there in the PGA Show. So those are the clubs I got to try. I am super excited for the ones I mentioned to get them in hand and get them out on course. And of course, we'll also be getting that Stealth, the Paradigm, and the Ping G430 to test, so don't worry. We will be doing an official ranking video here as the spring starts to bloom. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you back here very soon on another edition of Let's Play Through.